Howdy, 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 and welcome to the Red Dirt Aggie Show. I'm Bryan, aka the Red Dirt Aggie. Great to be back. We're bringing you more quality content today. It was the start of the draft back on Thursday, and three former fighting Texas Aggies. Well, I can't really say former Aggies, right? Once an Aggie, always an Aggie, but they are waiting to hear their name called. They were as of Thursday. Two of them have had their name called since then. One of them is still waiting, and we'll give you an update on where those guys ended up, if we think it's going to be a good fit or not. And I want to also dive in, talk a little bit about some different interesting topics I've seen floating around on social media in the world of country music. And then we got an update on something cool opening up in College Station that should be providing a lot of great entertainment for families, college students alike up there. The place is always growing like crazy up there in Aggie Land. So let's go ahead and dive into tonight's episode. One more thing, another interesting thing that we have for tonight. We'll start by talking about Deuce Harmon, a defensive back at A&M who's been building up a following over on YouTube. And he's starting out doing these sort of life blogs from the perspective of an Aggie football player. And to me, who's someone who's not the the most athletic guy, but obviously has a passion for sports, it's very interesting. It's interesting to see. You love seeing guys like this break into the creative space like YouTube and use their following, their fans that they already have, to leverage a following to kickstart their channel, and it gives us an insight into what it's like being that program, and maybe it even helps with recruiting too. I don't know. You see a lot of cool things in that video, some of the special lounges and tutoring centers and different things they have available on campus at a college like Texas A&M. So I'll link his channel down in the description, but go follow him, subscribe to him, subscribe to us as well if you haven't already. There's a subscribe button. It's probably like down there somewhere, but click it. That helps us out as we grind and try to build a following here. We're up to 10 subscribers now, so we've hit double digits at the time of recording. Maybe by our next episode, we can be up to 15 or 20. Who knows? And why stop there, right? Let's go all the way to 100. But again, go subscribe to him. Maybe hit him up in the comments. Tell him you want him to be on our show. We're looking to get some athlete guests on here. We've had our musician guests and people involved with the Texas music industry and the music industry as well. And it would be great if we could get some more athletes on the podcast for interviews. So maybe hit him up, try to help us out with our recruiting. So Deuce Harmon, if you do happen to stumble upon this video, we'd love to have you on, man. Yeah. But in the world of music, browsing through the likes of social media, message boards, and other corners of the web, you find many opinions. Really, in the world of anything, you find many opinions out there on the internet. You find debates. You find people who make a case for all sides of the argument. You find rumors. But what's hard to find sometimes is the truth. And you never know for sure what you find is the truth. So what you're about to hear, take it at face value, and then we'll dive into it and we'll break it down a little bit. But I stumbled upon very interesting areas of debate from two totally different topics around the world of music, and not necessarily contained to the Texas, the Red Dirt scene, but really you can apply this to any genre or type of music. So one of these points of debate and opinion come from an event involving a person who has had no shortness of attention lately, and his name is Morgan Wallen. And I want to be careful with how I approach this because, like I said earlier, there's a lot of misinformation that floats around. There's a lot of opinions. So we'll present facts that we know for sure, and then we'll also present opinions. But, and then, I'll kind of weigh in on my opinion. Let's start with what we know. Morgan Wallen had a scheduled concert in Oxford, Mississippi the other night. Oxford, Mississippi, a.k.a. the college town where the University of Mississippi, the Ole Miss Rebels, are located. So, it's an SEC country. They were excited to throw down with some Morgan Wallen. So everything was going great. All the openers made their performances. Hardy, I'm sure, burnt down the stage. We talked about him on here before. We love Hardy. Um, Everything's going great. Openers make their performances, but minutes before Morgan is supposed to go on stage, a message gets put up on the screen, and it reads, this picture going around social media as well, but the message reads, "Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately Morgan has lost his voice and is unable to perform tonight. Therefore, tonight's show has been canceled. Please make your way safely to the stadium exits. Refunds for tonight's event will be available at the point of purchase." So obviously, you have a cancellation, and you have a cancellation very close to when he's about to take the stage. And you have a lot of angry and upset fans now. Some of them are going so far as to file lawsuits, posting itemized receipts, everything down to the price of their outfits and their travel, the expense of their travel, the expense of the money they spent on gas to get there, their hotel rooms, merchandise they purchased, all sorts of things of that nature. And obviously, they're upset. And, maybe they have a right to be upset. But to make matters worse, you have a fan who shared a video of a security guard claiming that Morgan Wallen was simply too drunk to perform, and they actually took him off in an ambulance, is what this security guard said. And the security company that he worked for has now come out and said that those claims are false. But, Morgan Wallen does have a track record with alcohol in the past that's led to some unfortunate circumstances for the artist and others. Many still remember, it wasn't that long ago, that he went on a self-described 72-hour bender and was caught on video using racial slurs, and something that you definitely can't do. Then there's times during COVID where he's spotted partying with college kids while, his baby's at home. There's everyone has an opinion, and, it's just not a good look for his image. But going back to the particular issue at hand, it's a tricky situation. Artists do occasionally have to cancel shows for vocal rest, and it can be a real issue, especially for these artists touring and performing night after night. You had backlash from fans weighing in and giving their opinions, but there were some that actually gave an opinion more from the point of view of an artist rather than a fan. And one of which, who we're big supporters of here on the show, was this guy, Mr. Rich O'Toole. And he tweeted the following relating to the incident. Bruce Springsteen canceled 3 tour dates on his last tour. Sorry. Bruce Springsteen canceled 3 tour dates on his last tour. And my first thought was, I hope his voice is okay. Not, I'm pissed I spent money on a ticket and a hotel. I'm not a huge fan of Morgan, but I've canceled 3 to 4 tour dates in the last 3 years due to COVID. Voice and honestly a giant anxiety attack. So please know when an artist cancels a tour date, it's because they really need the rest vocally, physically, or mentally. We have a really, really hard job on the road, and some things are out of our control. And we need to take care of ourselves. So I think that's an interesting take from a guy like Rich O'Toole to come out and be like, well, yeah, it stinks that it happened right before, but artists are people too. Musicians are people too. Issues come up. Maybe he really did need the vocal rest, or maybe he really was sick. And he had a cancellation minutes before he wants to take the stage. It seems concerning. If it's truly a vocal issue, you think he would have canceled sooner, though. And this is my opinion now. He has a cancellation minutes before he's supposed to take the stage, and you think it should have been sooner, right? You think maybe he's got to have a manager. He's got to have some form of management, maybe that was responsible. I don't know. It just seems weird that it happened right before he's about to take the stage, because if it's truly a vocal rest issue, then why not pull the plug, hours before people are in there getting excited to see him? But then I also think about it from the point of view, well, maybe he wanted to go ahead and let his opening acts get the chance to perform. And so it's a tricky situation. I think there's going to be people upset no matter what you do in a situation like that. Again, I apologize for the cough. I'm kind of under the weather right now. That's why this episode's been delayed. But as far as it's a situation where you can't please everyone, it's tricky for Morgan. He's canceled a few more tour dates in the coming week as well. Now, try to deal with this, but it's concerning because if he knew his voice was gone earlier in the day, you know, don't you think that it would have been canceled sooner? And with his track record of the partying and the drinking, it makes you wonder, was he just not drunk earlier in the day and then got too drunk and couldn't take the stage? And dealing with something like that can be a real challenge, and maybe he needs to get some help. I mean, you think back to guys like Turnpike Troubadours, who, you know, I don't think it's any secret that uh, drugs or alcohol or some form of substance obviously was uh, what caused them to be put on a hiatus due to the demons that can affect these singers. And I really hope that some of these fans get the compensation they deserve, though a lot of them spend a lot of money trying to get out there. So I understand the frustration on their side, but you have to understand a little bit the artist side of things and the management side of things as well, and just think about it like a logical human being. Um, but a couple other interesting things I've seen out there in the world of debate for music on the interwebs. One of them was from a Texas songwriter and musician by the name of John Bauman, who's actually the creative mind behind the song Gulf Moon. Which, if you've ever heard Gulf Moon, you have probably heard the one and think, oh, yeah, that's that Kenny Chesney song. Well, no, it's not a Kenny Chesney song. It's a song written by John Bauman that he originally wrote and recorded. But Kenny Chesney cut it and put it on his album with permission. And that was actually a huge deal for John. but but he sent out a tweet the other day asking his followers, would you rather an artist or band release an album all at once or song by song? And that's a really interesting question that I think a lot of people don't talk about that often. Because with music becoming, more on demand, more digital with streaming and everything, uh, it's starting to become more the norm. Just when you have a new song, you put it out, you release it. Look at guys like Zach Bryan, who just they get a song, boom, it's out. Um, and he still does albums too, but a lot of times you just see like individual songs here and there, boom, 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 music coming all the time. And I think there's benefits to both. Um, and the benefit of releasing one song every time it's done is people get their music right away, right? They have new content coming all the time. They're excited. They're locked in. But you can also build up hype around an album if you wait and you release maybe say one song as a single, and then people listen to that song, they really love that song, and they're just getting excited and excited and excited for the album. Then you put out the album, and they're more likely to listen to the whole album in order, which can be important to tell the story on some of these albums. A lot of them have a theme, and if you're going to go through and listen to an entire album like that, it's important to listen to them in order, and it's important to have the built up hype surrounding the album from having to wait a little bit, right? Having that anticipation. And so both strategies are effective strategies. Me personally, I prefer having maybe one or two songs before the album so that everything's not spoiled when the album comes out. Um, but let us know what you think down in the comments below or over on social media if you're listening on podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about the Morgan Wallen situation. Let us know what you think about um, this debate here. And then I have a third one for you as well that I saw the other day. I was unable to find it again. There was a somewhere on the internet. I could not remember where, but I saw it the other day. And it's something that I've always thought of too myself. And the statement was, does it matter if an artist writes all their own songs or not? Does it matter to you? And for me, I wouldn't say it necessarily matters. If the person singing the song is super talented and it's a great song, it doesn't necessarily matter who wrote it. But if the person is super talented, they're singing the song and they wrote the song, then that's just like bonus points. I think about guys like Chris Stapleton, who are incredibly talented songwriters, but also incredibly talented singers. We think about a lot of guys who write their own songs, or most of their own songs at least, like Parker McCollum, um, and John Bauman, another talented songwriter, and he can also sing, right? So, but then you see Kenny Chesney, who took one of John Bauman's songs and sang it. It doesn't take anything away from Kenny Chesney. He's still obviously a very talented and successful singer, but he didn't necessarily write that song. So I don't think there's any shame in not writing all of your own music, but I definitely think it gives you bonus points if you do, or if you were the one who wrote the song. I think that's something that's cool. Man, and I really apologize for this coughing. We'll try to edit it out as best we can, but um, the struggles of being sick but still wanting to bring y'all content. So, three Aggies, when the draft started earlier this week on Thursday, were hoping to hear their name called at the time of recording. This is the NFL draft we're referring to. At the time of recording, two of them have heard their name, and Devon Achane was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. And then earlier this morning, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Antonio Johnson. Many people had Johnson going, much earlier in the draft. He fell all the way to the 5th round. But Devon Achane being drafted in the 3rd round to the Dolphins should be an excellent fit. He brings even more speed to that Dolphins offense, which I'm sure a certain group of those skill position players like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and now Devon Achane could probably go win a track event by themselves. So that should be a fun offense to watch in the NFL next year. And one more little music tidbit. Donnie Van Slee, my main man here, he released an awesome new song called God 2, and you need to go check it out. It's anywhere you listen to your music. It's a pretty powerful song. I really enjoyed it, especially being someone who's getting married soon and getting more involved in church lately. It was definitely a song that kind of hit home for me. So go check it out for sure. And while we're on the topic of marriage, leave your suggestions again in the comments below on what music you think I should play at my wedding reception. Maybe give me some Red Dirt music, some good country music to be dancing to for first dance, or just for partying. And some cool news out of College Station, as Tiger Woods' Pop Stroke Putt Putt venue is coming to College Station in 2024. There's a couple locations in the Houston area, I believe, but it looks like a neat concept, as the website for one of the locations currently open says that our two 18-hole putting courses are designed by the Tiger Woods and TGR Design and will test your ability to not only dominate the course, but also your competition. You can use their virtual scorecard in their app, and top scores go on the leaderboard. Seems like a neat concept. Maybe the new Top Golf Putt Putt, the new Putt Putt edition of Top Golf, kind of going in up in College Station, a place that's just been experienced remarkable growth in the past 5 to 10 years. It's just crazy to think how many entertainment options, grocery stores, restaurants, housing, how many different things have been built up there. Lazy rivers, just there's hotels on campus and off campus. Um, just remarkable growth up there in College Station and even over in Bryan as well. And with that, I just want to say thank you for tuning into this episode and for your continued support of the Red Dirt Aggie Show. Thank you to Heritage Pools, as always, our sponsor. Give them a call at 281-896-5061 for all your swimming pool needs in the greater Houston, Texas area. They do it all, so give them a call. And be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. As always, gig 'em and God bless. And until next time, peace.